Code accepted.
Bam. Hello, everybody. This is Rick Murphy here, and we are coming at you, Paige, Tyler, myself, and our whole team, and our oldest son, Cole, who's in spirit. However, he would be on the Xbox tuning me out right now. So, but as far as the rest of you, welcome. Over the next couple of minutes, and it will be very quick and efficient, we're going to show you how to make an effective 90-day plan so that you can get your business up and running. This is the part when you've watched the ignition sequence and you've gone through the basic ordering. You know, you've got your wellness home stuff, you got your auto ship, you're making your 100 lists, all those good things. This is the first thing you're going to want to do with your active upline, or if you are the active upline, to do this with the people you're sponsoring so that you can get them going. This is the point when you start to develop your business, and this is the plan and the guide. And frankly, guys, I've always told you guys that Nikken is part major home business, part major corporation. It's the next generation of home business, but it also has the stability of franchising. This is the franchising element, and the reason people get involved in franchising is because of the tried and tested business model, because of the support. You know, people pay $250,000 to $500,000 for this kind of documentation and support. We're going to give it to you tonight for free. This is designed to empower you. This is the wisdom of people that have made a ton of money in this business being laid out for you. And what this document is it's a canvas that you can paint what you want to accomplish, and more importantly, how you're going to do it. Because no matter how much you want to get somewhere, unless you know the steps to get there, it's going to be a challenge. So tonight, we're going to lay this out. It doesn't take very much time at all, but it will empower you beyond measure to unlock your human potential. You can find this on the downloads page of pathfinders.biz. And I'm actually going to go to full screen here so that you guys can get a better look at it, because I think it'll be a little bit better. Tell me, can you guys see that on your screens right there?
Yes.
Outstanding. All right. If you see this coming down, you see Pathfinder's got a 90-day planner, and you've got a table of contents here. We're going to run through these pages quick, tell you how to use them, help you develop it, or help your new people develop it. It'll be really, really simple and easy. We start out with the first page with just a simple guideline of what Nikken consultants do. There's a lot of things you can do in business. There's a lot of things there's some things that you must do. And remember, until you're making a gigantic profit, all the can-dos need to wait until you've done your must-dos. We want to keep you focused. Not only in this business is your time important, but the time of the people in your group is important. So if you stay focused on these key tasks, you're going to have a group of people that make the most of their time, and you're going to attract a large organization, because the biggest commodity that's irreplaceable that everybody needs and nobody has is time. We are always dealing with time and efficiency. And I always, as your sponsor here, I'm a guardian of your time, to where I'm going to say, hey, listen, there's some things you need to do to be successful, but I also have the duty of protecting your time, because that's what being a good guide here is. It's not only getting people somewhere, it's getting them there safely. Because, you know, my wife and I have a newborn baby. You know, we don't have time to fiddle around chasing people around town and stuff, and neither do you. You know, there's a lot of great books on how far infrared and magnets affect amoebas on Jupiter. That's a can-do, okay? We want you focused on the must-dos. First thing is use all the products. Be a product of the product. Use them all. Surround yourself with them. Can't tell you how many people have come into our business because my wife and I use the products. Number two, they know their success calendar. The 1, 1, and 1, and this is the basic element of the business. Dedicate at least one night a week, one Saturday a month, and your one team call. Get on those calls and don't miss them. Make them sacrosanct. You know, make your business the rock that water flows around, not the water, you know, the water flowing around the rock. And you guys have heard the saying, if you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. Treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. So next is make your daily contact constantly, so you're always talking to a couple people a day, and keep that moving, and keep the message simple. Follow your process. Fill the previews with prospects and events with your team, and promote the events. Guys, the beauty of being a part of this team is you don't have to knock yourself out, you know, setting everything up. You just get to feed stuff that is set up and leverage the infrastructure. That's what's beautiful. Now, once you become a bigger Nikken leader, and you get to that gold to platinum level, silver to platinum, right around there, you become a team leader, then you're going to be maybe involved in helping you set up an event, helping to coordinate things. But stay away from the paperwork, stay away from the committees, stay away from the groups. Committee is you guys have all heard that a camel's a horse designed by committee. Stay away from all non-productive functions. Stay away from meeting with a bunch of current Nikken consultants to discuss the color of orange juice. Spend your time prospecting and get to events. And if you're going to be around Nikken consultants, it's either a quick, fast, and efficient planning session, or you're bringing people to an event where you come together to make money and share the vision. Keep your business focused on building your business. Very, very simple stuff. Next, what type of business you're building? You're going to get this asked a lot. I always want you to keep this front and center. Consumer is somebody that just wants to buy from one of us with a ID. Wellness builder, someone that wants to get an ID to buy at wholesale. A wellness builder with extra income is they may want to make $100 to $500 a month. Pretty much that would be by retailing stuff. We have quite a few people in our group that sell water systems at $75 to $100 a pop and make a great extra income. But the people that are going to use the planner are going to be people that want to make a second or a primary income, because that's when you're engaging the compensation plan, and you're going to want to know a few things to lay it out so that you can become successful. Because to harvest the comp plan, to understand it, this is what this is geared for. So 4s and 5s, before I get going when I'm sitting with someone, they say, oh, yeah, Rick, I want to build a business and make this an income. We have a checklist, accomplished or incomplete. Do you have your ID? You know, are you on Nikken? Do you have your personal web page? Have you invested in your vital packs? Are you on auto ship? Have you built your 100 list? Are you going to attend or will attend HPM? Have you met with your successful upline? Will you go to the next big event and add yourself to the Pathfinder emailing list and the Facebook accounts? So before I even get into the planner, let's look at accomplished. How many of you guys on the live side have noticed that when you go to accomplish something, that when you've taken care of all the business so that you can succeed, you do better than when you have loose ends? Like, has anybody here ever driven away without the gas cap on?
Yeah.
How's that work for you?
Not very.
All right, or if you want to use something and you forgot to plug it in, how does it work?
Not at all.
So before you start your business, equip yourself for success. It's very important stuff. Now, your basic time commitment, I talked about this a little bit. The basic gist of it is you're going to be, you're going to be involved. We have every Monday we do a WebEx at 9, real simple. You can do it from the comfort of your house. You're going to want to get on the Nikken corporate ones as much as you can too. It's real easy. You turn them on, you do what you're doing, you listen to them and take them in. Take at least one night a week to meet with prospects or to have your weekly preview, something where you're engaged in building an organization. We're going to talk about this on our leaders call tomorrow, that you have to have something for people to stick to. So you're looking at one night a week and basically one Saturday a month. Now, how many of you guys on this call to make $3,000 to $5,000 or $10,000 a month think that it's too much to ask to do one night a week and one weekend a month? Do you guys think that most people out there, even busy people, would think that's a reasonable time expectation? Yeah, it's 1, 1, and 1. And then, of course, you're making your contacts every day, which, as you'll hear when you listen to the process video that we also have shot on the Prospecting 101 page, you're going to see that making contacts, if you're making 3 or 4 contacts a day, it doesn't take more than 5 minutes to make a contact, and it takes 10 seconds to send a follow-up email or to connect people into an event. Once you've got your stuff set up, it's so easy. So your daily time commitment is really not really a time commitment other than the discipline of engaging people. So they'll set aside your time to be successful in the business. Remember, it's a business. Treat business by being on the calls, dedicated to the events. Now, here's a blank piece of paper. When I'm going to, as an upline, write down the upcoming big events. So if I was local in Austin, we have an event coming up in September. I'd want the people to know that. Of course, you have National Convention out in California. That is a big deal. If you guys are a 4 or a 5 in this business, National Convention is not something that you go to maybe. It's something that you go to. That's just what you do. It's kind of like the old, one of my favorite sayings is there's 2 farmers. One that says, you know what? I'm not going to plant till God blesses me. And the other one standing in the rain that says, I planted yesterday expecting a blessing. Which one do you guys think will get the blessing? The person that plants in faith. So going to these events, it's interesting to me because a lot of people will say, well, I'll go to the events once I'm making more money. Folks, I want you to understand the reason you go to the events is they change your business. They teach you how to do what we do, and they get you immersed in it. So I'm just going to say to you again, get to the big events. All the Nikken's events are so reasonably priced. We don't kill people on over-eventing to where you're getting just, for example, we're doing an event in Austin next month. Guys, it's $15 a ticket. $2 of it goes to the company that does it to process the credit cards. Any other home business, guys, that's a $100 ticket. Convention in Nikken, it's a giveaway ticket. So the bottom line is get to your big events. I will tell you big decisions are made at big events. And my business grew when I was sitting at big events. I went to a whole new level when I went to convention. And Paige and I don't miss it. We're taking a newborn this year because it's just what we do. So be there. Next, how do you know when you're on the right track? This is just a benchmark to know when it's happening for you. And I always tell people, don't worry about everything else. Don't overanalyze numbers and stuff like that. If you hit the numbers on this page, everything else will take care of itself. So I want you guys to think about these numbers. Benchmark 1, 10 new people coming into your group a month. Now, that's not just 10 people sponsored by you. That's you and your group. However, when you have a smaller group, you'll find most of those people, you'll know who they are and kind of what's going on. So the number 10 is what you're looking for. And if you hit that 3 times in a row, you can generally say, I've crossed phase 1 of the business. And by the way, the more of those people getting sponsored in depth, meaning not just by you, the more residual your group is becoming. So that's number 1. It's not just about you sponsoring, that's direct sales. It's your people sponsoring. And if your people are sponsoring, you're going to get to the next phase for free, which is 30 people a month coming into your group. Now, to jump from that 10 to 30, that's when using the infrastructure, using the Pathfinders website, using the training, using silver training. The reason those things are there is so your group can work down in depth. So there's a lot of people coming to Nikken and they just, you know, for example, they want to sell magnets to sick people all the time and they move a lot of product, but they never take advantage of the compensation plan. Well, I want you to start thinking in terms of the structure. There's also other people that kind of want to reinvent the wheel or just don't understand the value of having a system. And the system is what makes that person 3 or 4 levels deep able to be proficient. So the way that you're going to get from 10 to 30 is by rooting people into a system and being stable and having people surrounded by leverage so that your people are fast and efficient. And then, of course, the third benchmark when you're making a 6-figure income is 100 people a month coming into your business. What's beautiful about that is you won't even know 95% of them, yet Nikken's going to pay you on it. How many of you guys on this call would be excited if 100 people signed up in your group and you didn't even know the names of 95 of them? Would you guys love that?
Yeah, I would love it.
Let me ask you number 2. How many of you guys would love that as of those 100 people? What if 30 or 40 of them were business builders and they were all watching this video doing a 90-day business plan with their sponsor?
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, can you say cha-ching? All right, so 10 is your first goal. Is it possible to get to the 100 unless you get to the 10?
No.
Of course not. So let's go back a step. Is it possible to get to the 10 unless you have sponsored yourself successfully? You're going to events, you're using the products, and you're plugged in. Do you guys see how all this flows together?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to get to the 100, sponsor yourself properly, then you're going to attract the 10, and then you'll get to the 30 and the 100. So you can see the beginnings of your goals here for the next quarter. I just want you to write in what rank will you be. There's 2 main ranks in Nikken, and guys, I'm going to tell you, there really are 2 ranks in Nikken. They create all the other ranks. One is executive at 4,000 points. The other is silver at 12,000. Silver was the building block of Nikken, and it still is technically in terms of the upper levels of the comp plan, but the real building block of the comp plan is that level of executive. All of you guys on this call should seek to generate at least 1 executive worth of business a month. That is your nuclear reactor that will create the fusion that will drive your business. So take a look where you are. If you're below executive, you're going to want to have that executive rank. If you're above executive, you're going to want to shoot for silver. Get it in there. What awards will you accomplish? Nikken runs programs and promotions all the time. Like we had a convention contest recently. What do you want to win? You know, anything you want to put in there. A lot of this is free form. What other goals do you have for the quarter? That's free form. I want to sponsor 10 people. I want to make my first $1,000. I want to, you know, sell 2 environment packs at retail. There's no wrong answer here, but keep them business related. I don't care, you know, what your favorite tree is and that you want to plant it in your backyard. Keep it in the program. You know what I'm saying? But what goals you want are great. Now, as far as your monthly goals down here, this is pretty cool stuff. The 3 at the top are the 3 that you're primarily going to be concerned with. The first one is your personal group volume. This is what I was talking about a second ago. This is how you get promoted below silver. So your goal for the month should always generally be at least 4,000, but there's no wrong goal, but that executive is really where the game starts, and then silver is where the career starts. The game starts at executive, the career starts at silver. But the bottom line is put in your goal for the month. By the way, if you put 4,000 in month 1 and then below it's month 2 and month 3, what is 4,000 times 3, guys? What would be the total points? What's 4,000 times 3 is 12,000, isn't it? What level does that make you? silver, okay? So you can see how you build a silver by just looking at this. How many new front lines do you want? How many people in your total group? That's you plus the people in your group that have been sponsored. And then below it, you're going to see more advanced goals. That's for total volume. As you get into the higher levels, and I'm not really going to hit that a lot now because I want to keep this more focused towards the newer folks coming in, but there are organizational volume goals that are when you start making the big bucks. And then your check amount. Those are all really neat goals to put in, but the top three are what I want you to focus on, which create the check amount, which I'm sure everybody's wanting to know that. But focus on the top three, your volume, your new front lines, the total people in your group. As your group gets bigger, you can hit the total volume down below that and get all that filled out. Now, down below there, the weekly process tracking, what I'm going to do here is I basically, let me rotate this to the clockwise. There we go. On this page is your process flow chart. Now, on the process video that is going to be on the Prospecting 101 page, we're going to go over this more in detail. But to make a long story short, one of the ways to really harvest the people power of your group and to make yourself efficient in prospecting and duplicable is to have a methodology by where when you meet somebody, you're not standing there going, what do I do next? What this page is what do you do with people when you meet them? And it shows you the different types of people and how to connect them into the process. So as you watch the process video, which is the second stage of this video, and once again, it's on pathfinders.biz, Prospecting 101, under the Getting Started tab, you will see how this thing can make your business easy. For example, if somebody says to me, I'd like one of those water bottles, you look over on the easy order process, they're telling me they want one, I'm going to send them to my personal web page. And there they can choose to order at retail or at wholesale, and it's got the two choices. If they want to order at wholesale, then they can say, hey, I've got more choices with my membership. They're going to then see all the products. So I'm going to send them the On Guard presentation, and then they can go into the personal web page and sign up if they want to or order at retail. And then if they say, hey, what about this business, then you just go over to the far right, which is the big picture, and you just show them an ABC, bring them to a preview, and then you sponsor people. So this basically is your roadmap to know what to do next, and we're going to go over that on that presentation. If you see this presentation right here, view, rotate, view, counterclockwise, we're also going to talk about this on the next presentation. This basically has your weekly process tracking to help you guys control or track, excuse me, what you've done in each week of the month. I'm going to talk to 10 people this week. I only talked to 6 or whatever it may be. How many people looked at an ABC? How many people went to a business presentation? And so the bottom line is this will help you track that. We'll go over that in more detail on the next one. The next two things I really want you to do, and this is really, really critical stuff. It may seem like just an exercise to you, but I think you'll find it will really help you, is why did you get involved in the Nikken business? And I'm not talking about the products. I'm talking about the business. Why did you choose this vehicle as a career? You will be amazed at what writing this out will do for your clarity and for your articulation when you're talking to people. For my wife and I, guys, I'm going to tell you flat out, every time I look at my, and I've told you guys this last 2 weeks, every time I look at my newborn son, and I've been here every day with him, I took a nap with him today from probably 4:30 till 7:30, watching NFL countdown and all these things kind of in and out. I was just thinking, thank God I'm home with him. Guys, I'm building this business because it pays me a heck of a lot of money, and I don't have to put up with anything from anybody. I don't have a boss. We don't have a schedule, don't have a job. It doesn't take a genius to figure out why I like this. I like to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Is anybody here with me on this call?
Oh, yeah.
Now, let me ask you all a question. How many careers can you write that on? I took my job at the bank because I wanted to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Does that match up?
No.
Guys, and don't give me I'm making 6 figures. 6 figures just means you work 60 hours a week. I've had that life. My wife did too. We have friends and relatives that make every amount of money you can imagine. They lose their jobs every 3 years if they're making any money, and there's no more security at the bottom or the top. We're building this business because it's an ethical way that we can live how we want to live, make the money we want to make, do what we want to do. And our children, Cole's 14 and Kyler's newborn, they're born Nikken millionaires. I'm going to hand them an asset when when I go, and our sons will have a legacy. And anybody on this call, if you look at the problem of poverty in this country, by and large, it's because the parents die and don't leave the kids any wealth. If you take a look at what's gone on in a lot of the underclasses in this country, it's not having access to wealth. The reason that a lot of people, carry wealth forward and they're higher educated is because their parents were higher educated, and you carry that forward. So it's about creating something to change your entire family dynamic. That's what this is about. I love it, you know. And then the bottom line is as a heart of prospecting, why should someone join you in business? Now, you notice that doesn't say why should someone join you, Ken. Why should someone join you? And I'm going to tell you something. I was listening to something the other day. I've watched a lot of late night TV lately, to say the least. It's interesting what's on at 3:30 in the morning. And so I'm laying there, and I don't even know what it was. I was watching TBN or one of the Christian channels on late. I was listening to a couple of really good speakers. And they were talking about the lepers, and there were only a couple of them. And I know the biblical story. I'm not going to tell it perfectly, but to make a long story short, they were camped outside the city, and they needed to get in there, but there were only a few of them. So as they walked toward the city, God took their footsteps and amplified them, so it sounded like an army was coming, and the people fled the city, and the people won the battle. Now, why do I tell you that? Because so many of you on this call are so busy thinking about what you don't have, you forget what you do have. And I'm here to tell you that we have every walk of life making it in this business, from rich, poor, white, black, yellow, brown, tall, thin, fat, good looking. We got ugly people who are successful, guys. We got it all. We got college degrees, we got GEDs, we got PhDs. The common denominator is people that want a better life. But I'm going to tell you something even beyond that. If you have faith and just take little walks of faith, that faith of a mustard seed, great things are going to happen for you. I was talking to someone the other day about going to convention. They were being wishy-washy with me about going. And I said, what kind of a message do you send to prospects if you're only going to go if you're successful and you're hedging your bets? There's no power in that. There's no faith in that. There's no divine guidance in being blessed if you only are going to go if you get the blessing. The way this business works is if you just have that little bit of faith and just do the next right thing, you'd be amazed what's going to happen for you, because people respond to that. There's a presence that happens in your life when you start taking steps in faith. And maybe, and this is going back to my story I told you, maybe instead of being so concerned with how few you are, quote unquote, or what you can't do, maybe take a step in faith, and instead of being so concerned with what you can't do and how you appear to people, why don't you start realizing that God can make you appear to people however He wants. If you just show a little bit of faith, folks, you're going to see miraculous things happen in your business. I've seen it happen time and time again. Instead of being so concerned with what you don't have, start realizing that God can make you appear any way He wants to people. And I promise you that's the case. Have a little bit of faith and watch the blessings roll. So why should someone join you in business? For my wife and I, we're really good uplines. It has nothing to do with what money we make. I'll break my back for my team. I'm the first person to buy tickets at every event. I'm the last one to leave. I use all the products. I'm on every call. This is what I do. I love this business, and I will work really hard for the people on my team. That's why someone should join me in business. It's not saying I'm great or I'm smart or I'm anything else, but I'm doing all the things it takes to be successful. Any of you on this call can do those things. You're sitting at an event or being on a call or sitting at convention or using the products sends a message to your team and to your prospects. That's why I think people should join me in business. Take the time to do that. It'll change your business if you do. Last couple of things here about this. It's pretty simple stuff. If you take a look, and I'm going to rotate this clockwise, this is your going silver plan. I really want you guys to use this and get it going. This is how you're going to track, and I want to thank Dennis and Ruth Williams for putting this together. This is a great way to play the Nikken game and to have the strategy of doing so, to go out and assemble a silver leg. One of the things we're going to do with our leaders tomorrow is we're going to start having everybody wipe the board and start with a new Nikken business unit, because as I always tell people, whether you're going silver or you want to go gold or platinum, a new Nikken business unit is the fastest way to get your business moving. Guys, if you're diamond and you want your business to grow, build a new Nikken business unit. My wife and I have built a complete new Nikken business unit in the last probably 3 to 6 months while we're having a baby and managing our team, and the impact is dramatic. So I want you guys to be aware of this, and it's really exciting stuff. So you can basically see this just tracks your volume. It gives you a way to track it on the left. You can track your month's volume, and you just build it like that Price is Right game where you track the volume, and then you get the ding, 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 ding when you get to the top of your silver. That's pretty doggone simple. I highly recommend you track it, get your pen on it, write on it, fill it, and build it. And when you're talking to prospects, look for people that you can plug into this and go out and get what you want. okay? Don't just sell a bed. I mean, I'm glad if you do that, you're going to make a lot of money, but work towards your business units so that next month you have a business and then your check perpetuates. Okay, that's what this is all about. And then the last 2 pages of the planner are building your platinum and above team. I'm not going to really focus on that right now. That's for more advanced users. But the bottom line is you can see if you build 2 Nikken business units, if you build it across twice like that, you're going to be a platinum right there because you'll have the 6 frontline silvers. But that aside, if you take a Nikken business unit, build it to silver, and you do it twice, you'll be at the platinum level. But I want you guys mostly to focus up here on this silver action plan and build it as far as that goes. So that's the basics to your of building a business plan with somebody. The next phase will be the process, which I'll go more into all this stuff and get you guys up and running with it. But that's the basic gist of how to do a 90-day plan. The process will empower you in your prospecting. And when you put all these things together, you're going to have a very, very fast-moving business. So I appreciate you being here. Have fun with the planner. I wanted to do that in about a half hour, which we successfully did in about 26 minutes. So use that guide to empower yourself to unlock your potential. Hey, and by the way, have fun with it. Enjoy it. Let that be a creation document, a roadmap to your own future. Every time I look at that, I get excited about it because you're going to go out and make come true what's in that. But I highly suggest you use it because even the most experienced traveler always is going to do better with a map. So there's your roadmap. Throw your best into it. Remember, if you take a few steps in faith, God is going to bless you, and He will make people see you the way He wants them to see you. That's how you're going to get your blessing. So if you work like it's up to you and you pray like it's up to God and you follow this simple path, you're going to be a Nikken millionaire. So it worked for us, works for a lot of other great people we know. It'll work for you. And if you're your own best friend in this business will reward you beyond measure. Be your own best friend, okay? The planner will help you do it. So thank you, appreciate you, love you all, and enjoy your Nikken business and have a blast.